How's it guys? Jandre here from V8 Media. This is part 3 of our payday strategy, how to leverage payday for maximum return on ad spend, maximum success in general when it comes to your digital marketing. Right, in part 1, we've talked about how to manipulate your ad budget if you're a small business to not waste any money throughout the month. So how you can go about manipulating your budget to ensure the highest return on ad spend. In part 2, we spoke about how to structure your campaigns for maximum success. And in part 3 today, we're going to talk about how to leverage your database, emails, contacts, everybody that's purchased from you, people who've signed up for your newsletter. We're going to talk about how to leverage that around payday for maximum growth. Right, first things first, before I jump over to my iPad, is that over the last 4 years, this is our 5th year, we've noticed that a lot of people don't leverage the data that they have. So you can manipulate budgets, you can improve your structure of your paid campaigns, but if you don't leverage the information that you have on your customers, you are most likely leaving a ton of money on the table. And keep in mind that these were people that have already bought from you or who have signed up to learn more about your product or service. So by hitting them up, especially during a time when they have money and more open to actually doing business with you, you're just going to increase the odds of success here. I can guarantee you that if you are not sending emails and SMSs religiously come payday, by doing it, you will see an increase. I'll guarantee it. Especially if you have over, 2,000 or 3,000 people in your database already. Right, so now we can jump over to my iPad. And here we have the 25th of the month, which is the first payday, probably the most important one, right? But a lot of people also get paid on the 1st. So we don't want to neglect that, because a portion of people in this country do get paid on the 1st. But this is most likely the most important one that I want you to focus on. Cool. So by leveraging your data, obviously that implies that we're going to be sending emails and SMSs, WhatsApps, messengers, whatever you have. And the first thing we're going to talk about is email. Right. So your email strategy is not really a binary thing. It's a quantification. Like, it's not whether you're doing email marketing or not. It's whether you are actually doing it correctly and whether you're seeing the return on it that you should be. And if you're not, what can you do to improve it? So the first thing that you need to keep in mind when it comes to sending email is that you need a powerful, very awesome subject line. Because without the subject line, people are just going to delete the email, which means they're not going to be able to see the content and click through to the site. And that's what we want. We want traffic back to the site, especially from people who are already in your network, because that's how you increase the lifetime value, is by getting these people to buy from you again. That's how you increase the profitability of your business, because you've already paid for those people to become a customer. And you want to up their lifetime value so that you get more money back from them, aka more profit back from them. Okay, so in essence, your subject line is crucial. And one of the things you want to keep in mind is that this directly impacts your open rate. If you have a weak subject line, you'll have a very low open rate, which means a very small portion of people are going to see the content, and most likely a smaller amount of people are going to click through to the site, which means you're putting all this effort in, but you're not going to get the results from it. So the subject line is the first thing. A couple of tips on the subject line: make sure it creates curiosity. It really needs to get someone to go, ooh, I want to see what's on the other side of this email. If it's not doing that, people are most likely just going to delete it. So you really want to put some effort into your subject line. You don't want to write all caps. You want to write maybe just a capitalized letter in the beginning of the sentence or the phrase, and lowercase throughout. That we've seen has got a higher percentage open rate, because it looks like an email from a friend. It doesn't look like a corporate email from a company that's trying to sell you stuff. So it's all about moving under the radar being corporate bullshit and promotional emails, and you want to fly in under that kind of like bullshit radar. And you want to do that by creating curiosity, getting people excited, writing your subject line strategically. So you want to focus on that specifically so that people actually open the email. Okay, the second thing that you need to keep in mind, that is your content. So the content will directly impact your CTR, which is your click-through rate. So if the content is weak, the email is not structured neatly, nicely, simplified, if it's not straight to the point, if it's super overwhelming, if it's got like all these call to actions where you don't know where to click, then you will see a very low CTR, which means not a lot of people are going to click through to the actual site, and that's the whole point. So we need to ensure that the email is simple to understand, straight to the point, and obviously, again, we need to be creating curiosity so that people want to see what's on the other side of the email. So the two things we need to keep in mind here is subject line and the content of the email. But most importantly, the subject line is the barrier between you and getting someone to click to the site, because they're not going to open the email, they're not going to see what's inside, they're not going to click on the button, they're not going to go to the site. So the subject line is literally the most important thing. Okay, you can have this beautiful email inside, but if people don't open it, they can't see it. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to send an email. You're going to send an email on the 25th of the month. Okay. And you're going to do like a special promotion, or you're going to do added value deal, or you're going to just shout out that you have new products on for payday, or that you have something exciting happening that's worth looking at, right? And you're going to do that on the 25th. So you're going to send an email on the 25th. But I also want you to send an email on the 27th. And what I want you to do with that email, I want you to resend the exact same email that you sent on the 25th. I want you to send that email on the 27th to the people who didn't open it on the 25th, but you change your subject line. Okay. The reason I want you to change your subject line is because the people who didn't open it saw the subject line and probably just deleted it. That is why they didn't open it. Okay. They were just not interested. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the exact same content. We're just going to restructure the subject line and send it to everybody who hasn't opened it. What that is going to allow us to do, it's going to give us a second opportunity to present what we have to say without annoying anyone, because we're not sending an email to people who have opened it. We're purely sending a new email because it's got a new subject line, so it doesn't look like the previous email. If they do open it, they don't know what the previous email looked like, so it's going to feel like they're opening it for the first time. We're going to do that because it's going to give us a second chance at getting more people to the site. Then you're also going to send an email on the 1st. And on the 1st, what you're going to do is you're going to have a different message. You can maybe have a different promotion. If you were running deals, I would suggest that you run like a category discount, or a product discount, flash sale, or whatever, or latest product kind of vibe. So those are just ideas for your end of the month mailer. You can ideally run that around the 25th, and then whichever one you didn't use here, you can obviously now use there. So if you did a promotion, now you can focus on latest products. If you focus on latest products, now you can do a promotion, or vice versa. Like, it doesn't really matter. You can come up with a new thing specifically, it doesn't really matter. All you need to keep in mind is that you want to bring people back, and you want to show them a different message. You want to get them excited about something else, because now there's a new bunch of people who have money and who might be keen to buy from you. Now I want you to send an email again on the 3rd, and I want you to really do the exact same thing that we did over here. Resend to everybody who didn't open new subject line, and you do that on the 3rd. That is going to give you a second chance getting more eyeballs on the message, on the brand, getting more people to click through the site, period. Right, let's move on to your SMS strategy. This is my very old BlackBerry, as you can see. And we are going to be sending SMSs as well. So I want you to send an SMS on the 25th. Short subject line, very straight to the point, but make sure that you create enough curiosity to get people to click through. And I want you to send another SMS on the 1st. The reason we don't want to send as many SMSs as we do emails is purely because of the fact that a lot more people are looking at their phones in terms of SMSs as opposed to emails. Emails people don't see every day, so that's why you want to hit it double the amount of times. SMSs, you can annoy someone by SMSing them too frequently, and you don't want to necessarily do that. So when it comes to SMS strategy, you just basically want to say the exact same thing that you've said there, and the exact same thing that you've basically said there, just one at a time, 25th and the 1st. You have obviously contact numbers to SMS. Cool, so that is just a sneak peek at one of the ways that we go about leveraging Payday from a direct marketing approach. Try this out, see what happens. If you've got over 2,000-3,000 emails and contact numbers and you haven't been using them, I promise you now, not only using them, but strategically using it over Payday, following the strategy, you should see some success. So I look forward to hearing your feedback. Please let me know how it goes. That is all from my side today, but stay tuned for more digital marketing tips and tactics when it comes to growing your e-commerce business. Cheers.